I get shit done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Business Renovator. Negative versus positive thoughts and mental fitness. That's kind of what we're going to talk about today. It came to me over the weekend, actually. Numerous situations showed up, and what's interesting is maybe it's never happened to you, but you've probably heard it many a time before. It's better to stay positive. You are in control of your actions, and your thoughts are very powerful. And this is very true, but it can be hard to keep yourself on track with negative energy trying to suck you into the vortex of doom. It can be difficult to keep yourself positive when there are so many things and maybe people which are beyond our control in the world. I guess really the only thing that we do have some control over is our thoughts. A couple of things that I was looking at in some of my past journals were Dale Carnegie, in his wisdom of his programs, which are still being taught today, suggested that we don't criticize, condemn, or complain. That's a good starting point to help us avoid the negativity and the critical voices we have in our head. Brian Tracy says, don't complain, don't explain. I find that as a business coach, when I'm working with individuals and they get into this rant of where they want to explain and complain about what's going on in their life, it really doesn't serve them. And I try nip it in the bud as quickly as possible to change their state of mind. I know when I feel it in my solar plex that I'm not even emotionally attached to what they're saying. They're transferring their thoughts to me. That's when I need to stop it. What it reminded me of, I don't mean to laugh, but it reminded me of the Green Mile. And one of the characters there was accused of doing a horrific criminal act. And he had this superpower. He actually didn't do the act. It was the movie is The Green Mile. If you've ever seen it, one of the characters is a very big man playing a prisoner. And he actually heals the warden's wife with his energy. He gets rid of the negativity in a way that maybe is, I don't know if it's possible or not, but in the movie it worked. Obviously, anything in the movies can work. But if you've never seen The Green Mile, I encourage you to watch it. It's a pretty darn good movie. I've watched it a dozen times, I believe, so far. Actually, the first time I watched it was with my mom when she was still with us. But I digress. I go on a tangent. The idea is that if we can control our thinking, so stop the stinking thinking, as Zig Ziglar used to say, and focus on the things that we want, then it's a little easier to deflect the negativity in the world that's out there. I mean, it's out there. There are people that think like that. That's really, there's a great formula that I was introduced to. It's E plus R equals O. And what it's suggesting there is if you don't like the outcome, change the E and or the R. So the event plus your response to it equals your outcome. So if you're not happy with something, what were the thoughts that brought you to that outcome? Take full responsibility for your life. Even though you may not have caused it to happen, by taking responsibility, you can take it on as a challenge or as an opportunity to grow versus a problem and having it drag you down. A question that seems to come up quite a bit is what to do if you have negative energy inside of you. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do. I'm not a doctor, so don't take this as scientific doctor-related advice. It's my own personal experience and some of the people that I hang out with. And that is to create 100 success lists and focus on the wins that you've done, the things that you've accomplished, and shift from looking at how crappy it is to how wonderful you actually are and what you've done to make your life a little bit better. What have you learned? What was the gift in all of the horrific things that you've experienced? And really wallow in that, relish it. And then once you get that energy level above the line, and I say above the line because it relates to another concept, victor-victim. So a victor is above the line, and a victim is below the line. So what we want to attempt to do is live above the line as much as possible. And when we live above the line, we're proactive. We take responsibility. We own it. We take ownership of any problem and turn it into at least a challenge, and maybe ideally into an opportunity, and look at what the gift in that is. Then we have a vision of a possibility of it being rectified, fixed, altered, shifted, and we do that with excellence in mind. That's what we strive for, not for perfection, but for excellence. So that's one thing that you could do. The other is the E plus R equals O formula. Another one is to make sure that you have goals, have something that you really, really want to go after, and focus on that. There's the optical illusion of a young lady and an old lady that comes to mind at the moment. And when you first see it, many people can only see one of the characters, either the young lady or the older woman, but they can't see both at the same time. Eventually, we can often find both of the characters in that optical illusion, but we can't see them simultaneously. So why do I bring that up? Well, it's one of the strategies. If you focus on things that you're grateful for, things that you're looking forward to, those are all on the positive side of life, even though you might be going through some crap, which we all do to certain degrees, some more than others. It's not really the crap that you go through. It's what you become because of the experience that you're in that state. That the lessons you learn from that, I guess, is really what I'm thinking of, that pushes you towards living your ideal best life. So part of the headline today was about mental fitness. And the brain is a muscle. And if you develop your mental fitness muscle to look for the brighter side of life, as that song from the Monty Python guys, always look for the brighter side of life, then you're more likely to find it. Harv Eker had a quote, where thoughts go, energy flows, and results show. And whether you like the results or not, that still happens. Thoughts are energy. So if you don't like the outcome, like the E plus R equals O formula, change what you're thinking about. Earl Nightingale also, the strangest secret, he says we become what we think about most of the time. What are your thoughts? What's showing up for you? And remember, don't complain, don't explain. The law of attraction is essentially based on the principle that our thoughts are things and they produce a vibration. And the vibration is energy, then that attracts the like thoughts. So one of my early mentors, Leland Val Vanderwall, said, we're birds of a feather flock together. So are you flocking with eagles or are you flocking with turkeys? So on that note, I'll leave you for, hey, there's Kellen Ann. Let me say hello and good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. If you liked what you're hearing, share this out with your friends. If you're watching it later on, let me know where you're watching from. Go #replay. And if you know of somebody who would like to have their message, or you think they have a story or a message that's worthy of being heard, let's get it out there. Let's share the message. Just never know what somebody's idea, thoughts, and challenges that they overcome and the results they've got could have on other people. And remember to be this. Wonderful. The you in there is deliberate to remind us to be ourselves, to be our unique self, be our wonderful self. So go out there now and act like it. Until we meet again, I'm Coach Phil, and I look forward to seeing you or being seen on another episode.
I get shit done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.